As a 12-year-old, I would have loved this movie. Servus Freunde, my name's Jimmy Cage, and 31 years after Shane Black had a small role in the first Predator, now he's bringing the beloved creature back as the director of The Predator. He has also co-written the script himself together with Fred Decker, with whom he also wrote a minor 80s cult classic, The Monster Squad. And right from the get-go, Black sets the tone for this 107-minute long crazy horror action romp. Without a moment to spare, we witness a spaceship trying to escape from another one, and in order to do so it opens some kind of space rift to our orbit, flies right through a satellite, which of course explodes therefore, and then it crash lands somewhere on Earth. One instantly gets the feeling that this might be a very old school and also very B-movie-like action flick, and as it turns out, it absolutely is. It's fun, over the top, and it moves at a super fast pace pretty much all of the time. But where the first Predator was also very tense and atmospheric, and besides all of its testosterone-fueled machismo, at least a somewhat serious action film, Shane Black's version is an all-out cartoon spectacle. I thought about movies I could compare this to, and the two best examples I could come up with on the spot are Alien Resurrection and Jason X, mixed with a little dose of Expendables flavor. The Predator isn't a remake, in fact it's a direct sequel to the existing lore, and at this point they just have fun with it. Just so you know where I come from, I have to say that I've never seen the latest one, Predators, but John McTiernan's original one is one of my favorite films of all time, not just because of nostalgic sentiments, which I admit I have plenty of, but I think it's just a near perfectly executed action film with an iconic lead in Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch, an iconic villain in The Predator, a mysterious and simply super effective build-up, and an epic finale. It has great atmosphere, horrific kills, and that raw, archaic flavor. I also don't mind Predator 2 starring Danny Glover, which might be one of the hottest movies ever when it comes to the movie's world's temperature. It's set in LA during a heat wave, and everyone is constantly sweating, which made a great backdrop for a killer from outer space. Now we are at franchise entry 4 if we don't count Alien vs Predator 1 and 2, and I think the Alien 4 and Jason X comparison isn't that bad. The monster isn't hidden in the shadows anymore. He's actually clearly presented throughout the whole film, and he's killing people left and right. And like Jason in later installments, he even has some stupid fun while doing so. There's a moment where someone asks if everything is alright, and the Predator is holding out another person's hand making a thumbs up. Of course that hand isn't attached to anybody any longer. The movie is full of crazy stuff, and it's also very violent, and for the most part they try to use practical effects, which is always great. Where the first Predator starts off with an already existing team of commandos, in the new one the team is formed after the threat is established. Boyd Holbrook plays the soldier Quinn McKenna, and while he's certainly no Arnold, he has enough of a presence to lead us through the film. And he's not alone, because Shane Black populates his story with so many different characters that it's quite hard to remember anybody's name. Quinn has a young son played by Jacob Tremblay, who is somewhat connected to the unfolding events. Olivia Munn plays some kind of alien expert, but don't ask me about any details. Sterling K. Brown is basically the main antagonist besides the Predator. And then there's of course our group of lunatics which form the squad that's fighting the Predator. Keegan-Michael Key, Trevante Rhodes, Thomas Jane, Alfie Allen and Augusto Aguilera. In the vein of the original and movies like Aliens or The Expendables, they are a bunch of badass men who are kind of willing to die in this. But that badassery is undermined and I guess willfully spun by making them really kind of nutty. All of them were tossed out of the military service for some reason, but the movie isn't really that interested in deeper characterizations. And it doesn't have to. In a film like this, you don't really need to create complex characters. What's more important is that you create memorable and, in the best case, iconic guys and girls to root for. But I have to be honest, the whole story and the characters are so exaggerated all the time. They are acting, the stuff they are saying, the way they handle what's going on around them. I found it very hard to get invested in this. I couldn't shake the feeling that the film was trying way too hard to be this super funny, wild ride, and unfortunately, half of the things our protagonists are saying is coming across as just goofy. There's so much silliness going on, and while it's super fast-paced and always quite entertaining, it's not scary or tense, and the stakes feel rather low. What was missing for me was that bond between those people in that extraordinary situation. On an emotional level, it didn't work, and it seemed as if everyone was still having the time of their life when they should be terrified of what's going on. The energy level is super high, and so is the ridiculous body count, and with all the throwaway one-liners and crazy action set pieces, I sat in the cinema wanting to love this so much, but this felt just too shallow and just silly. But if you want to see Predator dogs, now is your chance. There are also quite a few moments when it felt choppy, some savings felt too convenient, some character decisions too baffling, and while they portrayed the bad guy super old school pure evil, they also betrayed that notion a bit in the end, and his final demise was not as cathartic as it should have been. And without spoiling the final battle against the Predator, I had my mouth wide open for several seconds because of all the madness that was unfolding in front of me, but because it's also comically, it just doesn't make my heart race. So in German I'd say, The Predator ist schon wirklich ein ziemlich verrückter, wilder Monsterspaß, aber das alles wirkt auch sehr gewollt, cool und lustig und leider funktioniert das nur knapp die Hälfte der Zeit. I give The Predator 6 out of 10. It's more like 6.4, but I don't do that. Alright, that's it like always. Comment below and let me know what you think about The Predator. And also tell me, what do you think about the other Predator movies? What is your favorite one? I guess it must be the first one, but maybe I will be surprised. You can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram simply at TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all I have to tell.